Hello, my name is Lisa White, and I got home last night to Houston, Texas after walking the Camino de Santiago in Spain. While I was walking, I decided that when I got home, I was going to make a series of short videos to talk about my experience in hopes that maybe some of the things I have to say will be helpful to other people who are contemplating taking that trip. First of all, before I even start talking about the trip, I want to say a huge thank you to my friend Jan. She's the one who invited me to go on the trip. I had never even thought about going on this trip. And when she first asked me, because someone else in the group had to drop out, I said, no way, I'm not doing that. But she said, just think about it. And I did, and I read about it and watched a lot of videos and decided that I wanted to go. And I'm so very glad that I went. The group was 24 people, including me and Jan, and they accepted me into the group, and I feel like I made 22 new friends, and that'll be forever in my memory as a wonderful aspect of this trip. So we did what's called a supported trip. It was arranged by a company who specializes in the Camino de Santiago pilgrimage. The company is called Hike the Way and is located in Houston, actually in the Woodlands, Texas, just north of Houston. And what they did for us was they planned the route, they booked the hotels, and they arranged to have our luggage transported from hotel to hotel. A lot of people who do the Camino do trips that are not supported. They carry a heavier pack with all their stuff in it, and many of them stay in albergues, which are like youth hostels. Some of them have co-ed rooms where you'd have maybe a couple dozen beds in the room, bunk beds, usually separate bathrooms for men and women. Some have separate rooms for men and women. Some have private rooms and private bathrooms, so kind of all over the board, but we didn't do that. We stayed in hotels. I was very, very pleasantly surprised by the hotels, every single hotel we stayed in. And the other thing that the people who organized the trip decided to do was to include breakfast every day, but to not make reservations or arrangements for lunch or dinner, because with 24 people in the group, everybody walked at a different pace. And so they didn't want to say, okay, you have to be at this spot in time for lunch and then at this spot in time for dinner. So breakfast was included, and then people had lunch along the way or not, and dinner when they got where they were going or not. And I think it was a very wise way to plan the trip. There was a company called Travel, Travel. They transported our luggage from hotel to hotel. And so we had a tag on our luggage saying Travel. And we would leave it in the hotel lobby, and they would come and pick it up at some point during the day and get it to our next hotel. My luggage made it every time. I'm not aware that anyone else had lost luggage. I and some other people were a little concerned because there was a weight limit. You were allowed to have one bag, and it couldn't weigh more than 44 pounds, which is 20 kilos. And I had to take some things out. And then I'm sure there were some bags that were heavier than mine, and I'm sure some of the bags were overweight. We were admonished that if that were the case, the bag might be left behind. But I'm not aware that happened to anyone. They didn't, to my knowledge, go in there with a scale and weigh the bags. They just took all the bags and put them on the truck and took them to the next place. So that worked out really well. I am going to talk in the next video about which bags I took and what all I carried. We did what I termed the senior version of the Camino. I made that up. I didn't read it anywhere. I didn't hear anybody else say it, but I just call it the senior version, because in order to receive your Compostela, you have to walk a minimum of 100 kilometers. and there's a couple different starting points to achieve that. We started in Vigo, which is in Spain. So many of us flew into Porto in Portugal and then had a bus, which again was arranged by Hike the Way, to take us to Vigo. And then we spent the night in Vigo and then began walking. We began walking on September 24th, 2023, which was my 73rd birthday. So that was pretty cool. Memorable birthday indeed. And the route we took was the Portuguese coastal route. So the starting point was Vigo, and then we went up through Redondela, Arcade, Pontevedra, Caldas de Raiz. We stayed just short of Padrón because I think it was not, we couldn't get a hotel in Padrón. So we stayed in Pontecesures one night, and then from there we completed the walk to the Camino de Santiago. During that time, it was 6 days. We walked 2 days. We had a break in Pontevedra. There was a trip arranged to go down to the coast and go out on a boat and visit some quaint towns. I didn't take that side trip. I had some other things to do. But then after that day off, we walked for 3 more days. And then we spent a day in Santiago touring the city and seeing the cathedral and getting to know our ultimate destination. So that's all I'm going to say in this video. I'm going to make another video now. I'm in the process of unpacking, so I thought this would be a good time to do these videos. I'm going to make a video about what all I carried in terms of luggage. Not that I did everything right, but I just will say what I did. And then I'm going to make a video about what was inside that luggage, the things that I was really glad I took, the things that I took and never used, and the things that I wish I had taken. But believe me, I spent a lot of time getting ready for this trip. I watched many, many videos, and many thanks to the people who made those videos because they were extremely helpful. And I don't think I ever was so careful packing for a trip as I was for this one. So any trip I take from here on out is going to seem like a piece of cake. So I hope these videos are helpful. I'm going to try to keep each one below 10 minutes. We're now at 7 minutes and 45 seconds. So I'm going to sign off and see you in the next video. Adios.